Olá, hoje o Brazilian Connection é direto do Festival da Diaspora e eu vou conversar com uma mulher que está à frente do seu tempo e à frente de uma grande organização de eventos, mídia, esportes e comunidade nos Estados Unidos. Eu falo com Angie Gates e ela vai trazer para a gente toda a sua experiência como mulher, líder, negra e, acima de tudo, uma voz que não se cala diante da desigualdade. Hi, Angie. That's a pleasure having you here.
I'm delighted to be here. I'm super excited, and thank you for having me.
Amazing. It's your first time in Brazil, right?
This is my first time in Brazil, my first time in South America, but the longer I'm here, the longer I'm like, this is becoming more like my home. So,
that's great.
So I'm super excited for being here for the festival and just really enjoying the culture of Rio, Brazil, collectively.
Fantastic. And what did you bring to this festival in Brazil?
So what I'm super excited about, one of the things I'm super excited, I'm enjoying this moment with my mother, who's 81 years young. So to be able to come and have this experience, I think is absolutely amazing. Some of my colleagues, Shane Wells, have joined me as well on this trip. But it was very important for us to come and do a cultural exchange. It was very important to have a seat at the table to talk about this festival and the importance of it. But what was also key is to share our lineage and share what we both have and what we provide for the community, not only here in Brazil, but also in the United States. And so for me, I want to make sure that we use this as an opportunity to leverage the legacy that was built many years ago.
And speaking on lineage, what did you see that we have in common?
Oh, we have
Brazil and the USA.
We have so much in common. You know, I gotta say, coming from Washington, D.C., where the temperature is cold, I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. So first, just to come in and enjoy this wonderful, wonderful weather, but also the culinary experience. You know, some of the food has just been absolutely amazing. This stew, that was like one of the first stews that I had.
Feijoada.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. I wish I could package it up and bring it back home with me. But to have that from a culinary experience is one thing. But another way that we're connected, I visited Little Africa, which is not really so little. It's really big Africa. I visited, and as I was walking through the different areas, I could hear the Congo drums, and that Congo drums reminds me so much of the drum beat that we have in Washington, D.C., which is go-go music. And it also ties to the bounce music in New Orleans, Louisiana. But, you know, this experience has reminded me that this is the heartbeat of life. This is the heartbeat of our cultures.
Fantastic. Angie, in Washington, D.C., you work ahead of an organization.
Yes,
focused on events, media communications, right?
Yes. So Events DC, we're the official Washington and Convention Sports Authority. I serve as the sports commissioner at Events DC, and our events are there to entertain, employ, serve as the economic engine, and elevate everyone. I often say our team we're world-class people delivering world-class events, but we make it a point to specialize in conventions and meetings, sports and entertainment, and creative services. I oversee 11 venues in Washington, D.C., everything from our National Baseball Stadium to the RFK campus. We also have an entertainment and sports arena that I oversee. So it's about 11 venues that I oversee. And we have an international programming that we highlight through our creative services as well. So we do a lot.
Yeah.
we make DC happen.
Yeah. And here in Brazil, we are also doing a lot in terms of communication towards and for Black community.
Yes.
Coutini TV is an organization that has a lot of content and streaming, you know, specialized in Black content. And I'd like to know, how do you think this approach and how these media and means of communication can help the Black community, especially in Brazil, to be more connected and empowered as a whole?
Well, it's essential. Media, marketing, communication, that's all essential. I come from a background of film. I'm an Emmy Award-winning executive producer. The storytelling, having our stories told and captured on film and video is essential. And this allows us the opportunity to have our life stories shared and cataloged, but it also allows us an opportunity to do that media exchange with each other. We now are also in a virtual setting. I would love to work with the organization to produce and co-produce content where we highlight everything that's happening here from a tourism and hospitality perspective and have that shared, via stories in Washington, D.C. While I was here, like literally within 4 hours after setting foot here in Rio, I had a meeting with the Secretary of the Sports Commission, their team. I have a meeting later today with the Minister of Culture, which I think is fabulous. So we have to use these media opportunities to capture our stories, also share our stories, and make sure our stories are told to maintain the legacy of what's been done.
And the narrative as well, right?
Oh, yes.
We got this, right? We think up our narrative.
Yes, and have our narratives told in a very authentic manner, our voice, through our story, and have that told for generations to come. And that's very important and very, very key. And I'm so appreciative of what your organization and what the television, station has been able to do with this level of programming. Just having an opportunity to share this dialogue, I see so many ways that we're connected.
Wow, we are going there. So you also work with the sports in a way to empower communities, right?
Yes. Yes.
How do you see the relationship between the empowerment of children, young people, related with sports and empowerment, especially for the Black community?
Oh, yes, I definitely see that. And it's not only about the sport itself, it's about awareness of health. Being fit, and doing what's necessary and learning fitness and health at that young age, and also being on the field or the basketball court or doing football. That's so key. And to develop that also gives our youth an opportunity to showcase their talent. And in addition to that, it's what's happening and how you even get to the athletic part of it. Like there's the business of sports. There's the business of what it takes to implement a game or a competition or an opportunity being in place. I would love to continue to look at ways and identify ways. And we were just talking about this yesterday, how we can create even a football cup, with the favela cup with our communities in Washington, D.C. at the youth level, and also factor in the senior community as well.
Mm-hmm. And from what you saw, how can we in Brazil collaborate and also share what we already do in terms of sports?
Well, you have me. Now that you have me, Angie Gates, being a part of this discussion, being here on the ground, I'm going to make a concerted effort. And it all starts with communications, but we have to be intentional with our actions as well. We have a platform that's totally available. Even through Events DC, we have a platform called Gather, where we do storytelling, and we could easily share and highlight what is happening here in Brazil because the fabric of the community is aligned. So I can assure you on this day that I will make sure that we have that connection, continue the communication. And this is not just a time for us to come together for the festival. And I got to commend Cardell and Maria for pulling a festival such as this together. But it's important that we continue to go beyond these days because we've got to set the tone for the little boys and the little girls and make sure that we set a platform and a foundation for them as well.
And how did you see the acceptance of the public in this festival about what you brought, about what you said in your speaking?
Very accepting, very receptive. One of the things that I want to do too, especially in the spirit of collaboration, I'm thankful to have a seat at the table here in Brazil, but I also make sure that from an equitable and inclusive, I want us to work as partners. Like I can't do what I do without you. And I think when we come collectively together, we can work as a unified force. One of the things I am planning to do is offer scholarship opportunities with tourism, especially for entrepreneurs that are here in Brazil, so we can do that tourism and cultural exchange. And I want that to be authentic. alike and shared. So we'll partner together on that opportunity.
Excellent. Angie, you were the first African-American woman ahead of a huge organization such as
the Warner Theater. Warner Theater.
And in Brazil, we don't have so many female leaderships, especially Black female leadership.
Yes.
So how do you see this situation and how could we achieve more Black women ahead of important places all over the world, not only in America, not only in Brazil, but all over the world, and then specifically in both countries?
No, absolutely. There's an expression that we often say, how do we break the glass ceiling? Well, I feel that I represent, along with such as yourself and other women in this community, we represent high heels and high places. And we're not going to just break the glass ceiling. We're going to shatter the glass ceiling. And the way to do that is to make sure that we continue to elevate each other, through mentorship and being accessible. So because we're together, in each other's presence over the next few days, that makes us accessible, but you have to be accessible even when we're not together. I think it's also important too, is to make sure that women have a fair shot and make sure I want to be the voice for the voiceless. Cause quite often when I'm in the room, I'm the only female that's in the room. But what inspires me each and every day is when I have, a little girl come up and say, hey, you inspire me. What's next? But I have a due diligence on my part to make sure that I'm walking along with someone such as yourself and other women to make sure that we're creating a pathway to the next level. That's crucial. And I think what, especially for me as a woman, and I'm sure this is applicable to other women, is remain true to yourself, remain authentic. Also make sure you live in your purpose. Sometimes we'll settle for something for a paycheck, but if you live in your purpose and focus on what is going to develop you and you look at taking care of others, a paycheck will come. So I remain, faithful. My motto is faith over fear, and that continues to strengthen me each and every day. But I'm not alone. Collectively, we're stronger together.
Absolutely. When I was reading about your CV and also your nomination for to be the CEO of BC Events, something grabbed my attention, which was the text said, the board accepted Angie Gates as the CEO, and the process was quite rigorous, strict, and they emphasized the necessity to explain that everything was very, very hard. So now we have Angie Gates. I just had that impression that why, when it is related to some Black women, people have to emphasize that the process was rigorous.
Right. And at the end of the day, I think what is so key for us, our record speaks for itself. We are strong, talented, educated, vocationally prepared. We were built for this moment. And the fact that we were built for this moment and it is our time, nothing can stand in our way. And whether it's me as president and CEO, I represent you. I represent a lot of women, not only here in Brazil, but across the world. And every woman such as yourself represents me. And so one of the things that I think is so crucial, that if it's tough, rigorous, strict, what I want to know at the end of the day, I'm sitting in that seat as president and CEO, not because it was given to me, because I deserve to be there. And while I'm there, I'm going to bring a whole bunch of people with me, especially my sisters.
Changing the narrative, right?
Oh, you have to change the narrative. And also what's key is have an appreciation what came before me. Someone paved the way, but while I'm there, what am I going to do with the accessibility? What am I going to do? Am I making a difference while I'm sitting in that seat? We can so often get caught up in the day to day, but I have a due diligence and a responsibility. I have a moral due diligence. You know, at the end of the day, I was raised by my mother, my grandmother, and to have that matriarch responsibility, you know, we can run a household just like we can run a corporation.
Sure. And what did you do every time these problems arrived? You know, something that happened to test your ability to be there.
Yes, you know, it's interesting. I would say in my younger years, I had moments of where I felt defeated. I had moments where I felt less than. My confidence was not where it necessarily needed to be in my younger years. But what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And when I started to realize and understand my own worth, my own value, and also start to realize that a person can't tell my story. Someone else can't dictate what I'm meant to do, become, and be, because I've been the first of many things historically. I said faith over fear, and I was born to be in this moment, in this world, at this time, to make a difference for myself. But what am I going to do for others? And I have little tolerance and limited patience to ever be challenged or questioned about the character. I sleep good at night because of who I am, and I continue to be respectful to myself. And when I'm respectful to myself, then it will not allow anyone to be disrespectful to me or anyone who looks like me or represents me. And so that's been a very strong force. I, made the comment the other day, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the GOAT. I feel like I'm the greatest of all times.
And your story resonates so much with mine. I'm from Brazil. You are from the USA, and we could be from Nigeria or wherever. What does it be, or what is the relation of this and the diaspora? Do you think that they are interconnected?
Oh, we're all interconnected, and our stories are so similar. And I think having a festival such as this, it gives us an opportunity to remove the layers of the facade. Like, we're a lot more similar than we are different. We have very little differences. And, when I look at just looking at you, at the end of the day, what it took for you to be seated in this seat, I'm sure did not come easy, but you're here. You're here. And such as myself. But we are connected. Brazil, US, Colombia, across the board. Our stories are the same. I just think how they've been told or shared are different. And we, as a woman, that is our universal language. That is our universal language.
Sure. We are already talking. Thank you so much, Angie. It was a huge pleasure having you here.
Thank you. And I expect to see you visiting us in the USA sometime. Yes. And I will definitely be back here in Brazil.
Please. I hope so.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Esse foi o Brazilian Connection com Angie Gates. Até a próxima.